when you're so bad at your job that the judge expands the gag order to not only your client, but to you and the other lawyers of the team. It's like, wow. I mean, these lawyers should probably be disbarred.
Come Monday, next in line, the former president himself on the stand testifying under oath. I want to bring in Lindsay Reiser, who's covering everything for us on this one. So, Lindsay, new gag order now after a bunch of drama in court. Why is it that the law clerk has become such a central figure here?
Well, Chris Kise, Trump's attorney, continues to imply in the courtroom that his clerk is biased and politically leaning to the left. And the judge is furious over this. He's already issued a partial limited gag order preventing all parties from making public comments about members of his staff or posting about them. And now it has expanded. Essentially, the judge saying, and I want to go ahead and read, let me just pull this up. All counsel are prohibited from making any public statements in or out of court that refer to any confidential communications in any form between my staff and me. And Hallie, this has to do with something that happened we talked about yesterday before court adjourned, and there was some note passing between the clerk and the judge. The judge says that he has an unfettered right to talk to members of his staff. In his gag order, he cited the New York rule that allows this to happen and says, in fact, it is the primary role of the principal law clerk to help a judge adjudicate their responsibilities. And so he went on in this gag order, Hallie, to say, since the commencement of this bench trial, my chambers have been inundated with hundreds of harassing and threatening phone calls, voicemails, emails, letters, and packages. No comment yet from Trump's attorneys, Hallie.
What about the expectation for testimony from Mr. Trump himself next week, then Ivanka Trump on the stand? Do we expect that it's going to reflect some of what we heard from Eric Trump, for example, as he was pressed about some of these financial statements and his involvement with, like, the money piece of the business?
Yeah, and there was a definite stylistic difference between the testimony we heard today and that of Don Jr. Don Jr. seemed very relaxed, at times was joking with the judge. Eric Trump seemed much more nervous, according to our producer in the courtroom, and often scanned the courtroom looking to the defense table as well. And things got heated sometimes during the questioning. Remember, these are the state's witnesses, so this direct examination is with the Office of the Attorney General. And at one point, Eric today said, well, of course I know there are financial statements. This is a huge organization. The Attorney General's office trying to drill down on those documents that they say contain overvalued assets that help them get better terms. And so on Monday, you mentioned the former president will be here to testify. We saw Secret Service today getting a lay of the land, and we can certainly expect more fireworks in the courtroom on Monday. And we can also potentially expect him to say similar things to what Don Jr. Eric did, and that is he relied on other people, the accountants, former CFO Alan Weisselberg, to essentially help them with the appraisals, that they weren't focused on things that were that granular. You mentioned Ivanka scheduled for testimony on Wednesday. She had appealed the subpoena to testify. The appellate division denied that, and so it looks like we will see her on Wednesday. And Hallie, we don't exactly have the greatest idea what she's going to talk about because she hasn't been deposed yet. We have video deposition of the other Trump family members, but we have not heard yet. We can expect the Attorney General's office, though, to ask her questions. They say she has intimate knowledge of the business dealings, Hallie.